Hello friends, today we are talking tips for beginner dancers or maybe returning dancers who haven't done it in a long time, or maybe you are trying a new type of dance. This video is for you. Hello, my name is Jessica and I am a dancer and dance instructor. I have taught and am currently teaching beginner adult lessons. So I have some tips that I want to share with you today from the teacher's perspective of what you can do to really make yourself a stronger beginner dancer. My first tip is to choose a style that intrigues you in some way, shape, or form. Don't feel like you have to choose like a technical based one to start. I want you to pick one that you have a natural interest in, whether that be ballet, maybe it's hip hop, maybe it's flamenco, maybe it's samba. Pick a dance style that you're like, wow, that looks cool and I want to try that, because that is what's going to hold your interest when things get harder. All styles have something to offer that you can carry from one dance style to another. So choosing one that really piques your interest just gives you an extra leg up to stay there and push through when things get a little bit hard. You know, when you're sweating, we're working hard, we're there to work hard, but also this should be fun. So really pick one that you have a natural interest in to get started, and then feel free to bounce around from there. Maybe your interest starts to decline a little bit in that style and you can bounce around to another style to keep it fresh and to keep it interesting, especially while you're accumulating all of these beginner skills like transfer of weight and posture and counting music and tempo. All of these things you will be able to accumulate in different ways from different dance forms. Don't be shy to bounce around styles, and don't feel like you have to stick to one style and become an expert on one style when you're a beginner. My second tip is to arrive early to your dance classes and introduce yourself to the instructor. This may seem like really forward, but actually as a dance instructor, I really appreciate it when beginner students come to me and they say, hey, this is like the first time or maybe like the second time I've ever taken this dance style. So like, just to let you know, I'm a complete beginner and this is my knowledge and this is how I'm feeling. And especially if you have any anxieties towards taking the class, it's really good as an instructor to know that, because then I can help you along the way to kind of give you a little bit more encouragement, maybe pay that little bit of extra attention to see if you are kind of trapped in your head or not during the class. This goes especially for those who may have had a negative experience with dance in the past and are now returning to it with a new headspace and a new attitude, and hopefully a new environment, if that was a cause. As a teacher, I really like to hear these things, and your teacher will like to hear them too, so that they can properly support you in this class and make sure that you have a good time. Making yourself familiar with the teacher will also make you more consistent, because it makes you feel almost like you have an obligation to show up when they say, see you next week for the next combo, because now this isn't a stranger. This is someone you're familiar with, and you'll actually look forward to seeing them the next week as well. So that really helps with consistency in beginner dancers, and consistency is what's going to help you improve the most. My third tip is to consume content in the style that you are trying out. This is kind of a passive way to become a better beginner dancer. Go home, follow like the leading dancers in that field, the choreographers, the teachers. This way, when you open your Instagram, instead of scrolling memes, you're going to be scrolling and constantly absorbing vocabulary from that dance style. You're going to be absorbing what it looks like when professionals do that dance style, and you can start to pick styles and techniques and maybe like extra little flares that these dancers are doing and put it into your own style, which is a really valuable thing to do. My fourth tip is to recall choreography before you go to bed. Ideally, we have all the time in the world and we can go home and we can do our choreography physically. Most of the time for me, and I know for many other adults, it doesn't happen. But there is so much value in laying down as you're about to go to bed and just running over the choreography in your head. It's actually a challenge because you don't have your muscle memory anymore to kind of flow you through the moves that you learned. You're actually having to recall mentally and envision yourself doing the dance in your head. I was listening to this neuroscience podcast the other day about how skiers don't actually train like every single day because it's so dangerous. So part of their training is just envisioning themselves skiing down the mountain. And I was like, that really blew my mind, because truly so much of training for dance, especially with choreography recall, can be done just in your mind and envisioning yourself doing the piece. It works so well for me. I do it before I go to bed every time I take a dance class, and the next day I can always recall the choreography so much easier. So definitely recall your choreography before bed, and even just envisioning it as you're laying down right before you go to sleep is going to help you so much with recall. And my fifth and final tip is to focus on having fun. We are adults. We don't have to do things we don't want to do, okay? Especially when it comes to our hobbies. So if you are not having fun, switch it up. If it's the environment that's an issue, try taking class at a different studio. If it's the style that's an issue, switch over to another style. It is totally fine to bounce around. As I mentioned earlier, there are valuable things to learn in all different styles of dance. So feel free to switch things up till you're having fun and you feel like this is a valuable experience for you, both physically, yes, we want to sweat, we want to work hard, but also mentally, because dance should be fun and it should be freeing and it should be a release from other stresses in your life, not an addition. Anyways, those are my top tips for beginner dancers. Let me know if you like them, if you want more. I do have a lot more. Let me know what else you want to hear from me in the comments below. I'm doing some more talking content for the next little bit. So yeah, let me know any ideas you have and I would be happy to try them. Thanks for watching.